never believed in gut feelings until the night I almost died because I ignored one. Working security at the old Riverside Mall wasn't supposed to be a dangerous job. The place had been half empty for years. Most stores boarded up, only a few stragglers keeping their leases until something better came along. My job was simple: walk the corridors, check the doors, make sure nobody broke in to steal what little was left. Easy money for a college student, or so I thought. It was a Tuesday in October when everything changed. The kind of night where the wind rattles windows and makes you pull your jacket tighter. I'd been doing my usual rounds when I noticed something different about the old Spencer's gift shop. The metal security gate was still down, but there was light bleeding through the gaps at the bottom, a sight that sent a shiver down my spine. That was impossible. Spencer's had been closed for 3 months. I stood there for a moment, flashlight in hand, listening to my own breathing echo off the empty mall walls. The fluorescent lights above flickered intermittently, casting dancing shadows that made my skin crawl. Every instinct told me to radio it in, call the police, and do anything except investigate alone. But I was 22 and stupid, and I thought I was braver than I was. I approached the gate slowly, my footsteps unnaturally loud on the polished floor. As I got closer, I could hear something that made my blood run cold. Music. Not just any music, but the tinny, repetitive melody of a children's toy, playing the same few notes over and over again. The sound was coming from inside the store. I crouched down and peered under the security gate. What I saw in that narrow slice of visibility will haunt me forever. Dozens of pairs of feet, all perfectly still, all wearing the same black shoes. Men's dress shoes, women's heels. In the sudden silence, I heard something that made every hair on my body stand up. The whisper of the fabric against the fabric, like clothing rustling in a gentle breeze. But there was no breeze in the mall. I pressed my face closer to the gap, trying to see more, when a child's voice spoke from directly above me. "Are you looking for someone?" I jerked backwards so violently that I slammed into the opposite wall. Standing before me was a little girl, perhaps 8 years old, wearing a yellow dress that seemed to belong in the 1950s. Her hair was perfectly curled, her face pale as porcelain, and her eyes were the darkest black I'd ever seen, a sight that filled me with a primal fear. I'm security," I stammered. "You shouldn't be here. The mall is closed." She tilted her head to one side, and I noticed that her neck was bent at an angle that wasn't quite right. "Closed? But we're having a party. Would you like to join us?" Behind her, I could see more figures emerging from the shadows between the storefronts. Men in suits, women in evening gowns, children in their Sunday best. All of them walked with that strange, too fluid gait. All of them smiling with mouths that opened just a little too wide. "We've been waiting for someone new," the little girl continued, taking a step closer. "Someone to help us celebrate." I backed away, my heart hammering against my ribs. Celebrate what? The anniversary, of course. Her smile grew wider, revealing teeth that were too sharp, too many. 50 years ago today, we all came to the grand opening of this beautiful mall. We were so excited. We dressed in our finest clothes, brought our families, and made it a special occasion. Her words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of the past. The other figures were getting closer now, forming a semicircle around me. I could see their faces more clearly, and what I saw made my stomach lurch. Their skin had a waxy, artificial quality, like mannequins, but their eyes moved, tracking my every movement with predatory focus. "There was an accident," the girl continued, her voice taking on a sing-song quality. "A terrible, terrible accident. The new escalator malfunctioned during the opening ceremony. So many people fell. So many people were hurt." I was pressed against the wall now, nowhere left to retreat. The smell hit me then, the cloying scent of old flowers and something else, something sweet and rotten that made me gag. "But we're still here," she whispered, reaching out with fingers that were too long, too pale. "We never left, and now you can stay with us too." That's when I ran. I sprinted through the mall corridors like my life depended on it, because it did. Behind me, I could hear them following, not running, but walking with that same measured pace, their footsteps echoing in perfect unison. The sound grew louder, closer, like a marching army of the dead. I reached the security office and slammed the door behind me, fumbling for my keys with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. The monitor showed empty corridors, but I could still hear them out there, getting closer. That's when I saw the newspaper clipping taped to the wall behind my supervisor's desk. I'd never noticed it before, but now it seemed to glow under the fluorescent lights. Tragic accident at Riverside Mall. Opening claims 47 lives. The date was exactly 50 years ago. I grabbed my things and ran for the exit, not stopping until I reached my car. As I peeled out of the parking lot, I looked back at the mall one last time. Every window was lit up, and I could see figures moving behind the glass, waving goodbye. I quit the next morning. When I went to collect my final paycheck, my supervisor looked confused. "What accident?" he asked when I mentioned the newspaper clipping. "There's never been any accident at this mall, and I've never seen any newspaper clipping in my office. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. And sometimes late at night, I still hear that children's toy playing its endless melody, and I wonder if they're still waiting for someone new to join their eternal celebration." The mall was demolished 6 months later. They said it was due to structural issues, but I know the real reason. Some places hold on to their ghosts too tightly to ever let them go, and some parties are meant to last forever.